Hey guys, Finn here. That is of course FYNN, and welcome back to my weekly prediction series where I do my Premier League weekly predictions and my fantasy team. Now of course Matchweek 7 ended and it was quite interesting being a Manchester United fan.
Oh bother.
I was beyond disappointed, which if you want to see, I am busy uploading a video about what I truly think about the game and each individual player. You guys can check that video out if you are a Manchester United fan or if you just enjoy that kind of content. But yeah, it's match week 8 time for the predictions, and I think it's going to be very interesting. It's very tricky because we're getting to that stage of the season where points actually are kind of starting to matter more and more in terms of if we look at top of table with City and Liverpool, the fact that there is becoming more and more of a gap. And yeah, once again, thank you so much for helping me reach 200 subscribers. I couldn't have done without you guys. I am so grateful. Every milestone really does make me feel so great. So of course, to get to the next one, if you guys could subscribe, share this video, and really help me get further to the next step, I'd love that so much. On the road to 300 and eventually 1,000. Yeah, that would be awesome. But thank you so much for helping me get this far. And yeah, as I said, I do want to do a Q&A, question and answer, very soon. So guys, put questions down in the comment section below. It can be about my personal life, it can be about football, it can be about anything. You can make it as weird as you want. Ask me any questions in the comment section down below, and I probably will answer it in the Q&A. Let's get straight into the predictions. This one, Brighton versus Spurs. Brighton, as I said, have showed really good moments of counter-attack. Spurs just, look, they bottle it way too much and they make way too many mistakes, and I'm scared Pochettino ends up getting the sack because I think that could end up happening. But I'd say 3-0 to Spurs. I really think that they can just really strap everything down and really go through this one. I think that Brighton's a team Spurs really should beat. It's going to be interesting to see how they end up playing against them, because they are playing against Bayern Munich in the Champions League on the day of recording. I'll probably put this out on the Wednesday, so I don't put 2 videos out on the same day, just so I even it out a bit. So this will be after the Spurs game. Yeah, but overall I have to say Spurs 3-0 win. They should get it with their attack. Luckily, if Harry Kane doesn't get injured, because it does seem like he's back, he is fit. There was a worry that he wouldn't be. But yeah, I think it's going to be 3-0 Spurs. Burnley versus Everton, I think it's going to be a 2-0 win to Everton. Yeah, once again, Everton have lost their last 3 games in a row, though. It's 4 total this season. That's not a good looking result. That's not good for Marco Silva, because everyone's talking about the sack race. Who's going to get sacked next in the Premier League? Of course, I would say first, but the Watford manager's already been sacked already this season. Everton 2-0. It's going to be very interesting. I think if Everton lose this one to Burnley, I can definitely see Marco Silva being sacked. He's going to get kicked out. Look, Everton aren't expected to make Europa League, Champions League, or win the title, obviously. But yeah, I definitely think they are expected to win more, especially against a team versus Burnley. And 4 losses in a row, I think that gets Silva the sack. But yeah, as I said, I think they'll get that 2-0 win. Liverpool, Leicester, that's a huge one. Of course, Liverpool still undefeated, haven't lost a single game so far in the Premier League. It's going to be a very tricky one. Leicester, of course, not actually doing too bad. They've actually had a really good start to the season. Of course, they just beat Newcastle 5-0, which is a tremendous result. I think it's going to be 3-2 to Liverpool. I think because, look, of course, it's an Anfield. Of course, there's that atmosphere, that famous Liverpool atmosphere. Yeah, and I have to just say it's going to be close. Look, Leicester are looking very strong. I didn't think they'd look this strong this season without Harry Maguire, but they are just looking so good because they really are showing the strengths in their attack. Vardy is looking terrific. The whole team's looking terrific. I think it's going to be 3-2. It's going to be very close. Yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting game. There's definitely going to be goals. I think there's going to be lots of goals. Yeah, let's hope Leicester can do well, because I think they've only really lost 1 game, if I'm not mistaken, and that was the one versus Manchester United, unless I'm missing another game. Yeah, but overall, I think it's going to be a very close one. Norwich versus Aston Villa, a game between the 2 promoted teams. Now, I keep on going Norwich, so I can put Pookie in my team and get points. Aston Villa, of course, hasn't had the best start to the Premier League. Both teams are very close in how they've started. I think Norwich have won 2 games and they've lost all the others, where there's been a win for Aston Villa and 2 draws or something along the lines of that. So it's very close. They're very low on the table, 2 of the lowest teams on the table. I think it's going to be Aston Villa. No, it's shocking me too. I would normally go for Norwich. I think it's going to be Aston Villa, just because overall team play, I find Villa a better team. Where it comes to Norwich, I find 1 or 2 individuals. 3-1 to Aston Villa. Watford versus Sheffield United. Watford haven't won a single game. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost to Sheffield. Sheffield actually aren't looking bad in attack. I think it's, unfortunately, they aren't the best of teams, but I can see them winning a 2-0 against Watford. It's a bit of a shock, I know. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you think Sheffield can beat Watford 2-0? I do. West Ham, Crystal Palace, two teams that have beaten Manchester United. It hurts me deeply. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. I'm just looking at my notes here. West Ham versus Crystal Palace. I'm going to go 2-1 to Crystal Palace. Just overall, I see Crystal Palace as a more complete team compared to West Ham. West Ham's obviously a very good team. They've really strapped up at the back. They've done much better at the back than I thought they would. Crystal Palace, when it comes to pace, look, it's one of those games where it could go either way. There's always that game every week that could go either way. I think it's going to be a very close 2-1 win to Crystal Palace. Yeah, let's hope that we can get an interesting result from that one. City versus Wolves. Of course, Wolves have had a horrible season as well. And just like the Everton one, if Wolves lose this game, I think their manager will get sacked. The only game they have won is against Watford, and that doesn't seem like to be a huge accomplishment this season. And especially versus City, I think it's going to be a 3-0 win to City. I definitely do see City just coming out as a stronger team. Yeah, overall, let's really hope Wolves can do well, because I like Wolves. Yeah, I don't want to see them fail that badly. Southampton versus Chelsea. I think Chelsea 2-0, no-brainer. Yeah, Southampton is a kind of team that could bring out a surprise, but at the end of the day, Chelsea is picking up form. And at the end of the day, I'm happy Jorginho got a goal. Although it's a penalty, he still got a goal for Chelsea, which is good to see him get a result, or to get some sort of points or contribution to the Chelsea team. It's not that bad. It's not nice to see a player not get assists or goals. Yeah, and he's already started off much better this season than he did last season. Overall, I can only see Chelsea winning, and it's going to be a 2-0 to them. And yeah, let's see if that's the result. Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Yeah, I'd say 2-1 to, I mean, Arsenal a bit more. Wow, let's go back. Hold on. Arsenal versus Bournemouth. Yeah, I'd say it's going to be 2-1 Arsenal. Look, they didn't play well against Manchester United. Manchester United bossed Arsenal around the whole game, although it's a draw. Up until the 25-minute mark, I think Manchester United had 70% of possession. Yeah, but if it wasn't for Manchester United being Manchester United, yeah, it would have stayed like that throughout the whole game, but it didn't even out a bit. Arsenal aren't looking that strong, to be 100% honest with you. Aubameyang, of course, has scored 14 in 14 games in the Premier League or something like that. I think so. Yeah, he's looking, of course, very, very strong. I do have to say, I think they're just going to get the leap against Bournemouth, because Bournemouth have had a really good start in the Premier League so far, and it's going to be very, very close, I do find. Last one is Newcastle versus Manchester United. Manchester United, what is wrong with you? As I said, you guys can check that video out where I complain about them as normal. Yeah, very disappointed, and then they really have to pull their stuff together. I'm going to go for a really, really close win with a 1-0 win. Not because I think Manchester United's a better team, but because I think Newcastle's the worst team, losing 5-0 against Leicester. Of course, they got a red card. He's out for the next game. I really hope Manchester United can get their stuff together. I hope Martial is back. That would be the best result. Pogba's back. Look, he didn't do well against Arsenal at all. He didn't do well against Rochdale. Very hidden, but let's hope he can help against Newcastle. Rashford also not looking that strong, but let's hope he does a bit better. And of course, the huge reason I think United can get the win is Aaron Wan-Bissaka will probably be back, because he was away with the flu, or he was sick versus Arsenal, and that's why I believe we lost to Arsenal. Sorry. Yeah, that really is it, and I think it's going to be a 1-0 win to United. Now for my fantasy team, and I'll put it up on screen over there most likely, and I'll go through it with you. Hold on, let me move to the side. I can't because my chair is not rolling. Yeah, overall, you'll see De Gea I've kept in goal. I took him out last week because I didn't think he would get a clean sheet, and I was right about it. I'm happy about that. I've put De Gea in there because, as I said, I think it'll be a 1-0 clean sheet this time around. Defense, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I put him in there against the Arsenal game, and I'm so upset he didn't play, because, of course, those are massive points for me to lose. Yeah, but I've kept him in there because I do think points will be kept. Virgil van Dijk, always keep in my team, just because for Liverpool, he's just almost guaranteed points. They didn't get the points that that they thought they would against Sheffield, the goals, but they still got the result. And Virgil van Dijk always gives me points. Very happy to keep him in there. Sanchez from Spurs, happy to put him in there. I always have the Spurs defend in there, which does seem a bit of a mistake or a bit tricky, a bit risky. But I put him in there over Alderweireld just because I was hoping that he does play against Brighton. I think Sanchez will definitely get points because of his pace, because of his strength, and he always ends up, I always find him being very impressive and aggressive when he does end up playing, so I've put him in there for once. Socrates, put him in there just because if I think Arsenal will win, he can definitely get points. He didn't do that bad versus Manchester United. He made a mistake or two, but he looked very, very strong. Kevin De Bruyne in the midfield, always going to keep him. 8 assists in 7 games. That is monstrous, keeping him in there. Sterling always scores, always assists, keeping him in there as my captain, of course. Ndombele, I took out of my squad for quite a while because he was injured and blah, blah, blah. But I put Ndombele back in the team there for Spurs, especially if he's going to contribute because he just scored in the recent game. He gets some assists. He's looking so impressive. Put him in the squad. Pogba is a new one in the squad. Lots of you are probably looking at. And I said he hasn't been playing well. But I really do think because his value dropped quite a bit, I was able to afford him. And I think it's a good idea to put him in now because if he picks up form, then you get him for cheaper. And at the end of the day, Pogba's not a bad player. He does get an assist every now and then. He's not the worst player. He does end up picking up quite a bit of points because of the kind of passes that he can make when he's not, when he is in form. I've put Pogba in there. I think that he's a good person to put in the team. That's my opinion. That's probably one of the most controversial ones in this team. You guys can put in the comment section what you think about that. Strikers, Calvert-Lewin from Everton. As I said, he's actually done quite well up front for Everton so far this season. So I'm happy to put him in there for some Everton points. Abraham for Chelsea. Just so good this season. I thought Batshuayi would be the main man for Chelsea, but it has proven to be Abraham. You guys can obviously debate that in the comment section below as normal. Heaton on the bench, brought him back on just in case Villa gets some points, along with Wesley as the striker option on the bench. Also there in case some points for, obviously Aston Villa. I probably could have put some kind of Norwich player in there just in case the result went the other way around, but it's going to happen. Digne from Everton also there on the bench, and Townsend from Crystal Palace. Guys, that is my fantasy team. I hope you have enjoyed it and my weekly predictions. Once again, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. Sorry, there's an airplane going above the house. I don't know if you can hear it in the video. I hope not. But guys, thank you so much for 200 subscribers. I appreciate it hugely. If you have enjoyed this, please do subscribe, share, like, all of the good stuff. This has been Finn, FYNN. Stay awesome. Cheers.